Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show with my co-host, the one, the only, the Practopist herself, Yolanda M. Smith.
What's up, Dre? You are so funny. I love him. You're just so excited to have me back. You don't know what to do.
I don't know what the hell to do, but we got a new sign in the back. I bought you back. I created that shit.
I love it. Yeah. You know, he was like, you know what, girl, you got to get back in this studio. I'm not playing with you.
Because I had to do it the easy way. You're a visual person.
I am visual.
So I told the web guy, I'm like, look. Well,
make her look good.
This is what he said. He said, Dre, you want me to put Yolanda on there? I was going to say, hell no, I got this. And then I was like, I really don't got it. So he said, well, Dre, let me handle it. And when that came, I said, Willie,
we're better together. Look at it that way.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be back and literally
good to have you back.
Yep, it's good to be back.
I like the outfit, man. You're looking good in that Fonzie Happy Day.
Hey.
definitely looking good. I'm
excited about today's show. Yeah, we have a lovely guest.
Who is our guest?
It's Chanita Pullom. Yeah. Yep. She's got quite a story. I'm not going to be the spoiler alert, but I'm going to let her tell her story, but it's an amazing story. And you know, if you think about the episode, we are all about really empowering people, right?
Yeah.
And telling great stories. We do entertainment as well and, you know, educate from that time to time. But it's really the empowerment, I think, that really attracts people to us.
Yeah. And today is no different. This woman has definitely a story of perseverance. Let's call it what it is. Perseverance, still making moves, still making a major impact.
That's that beast mode, baby.
Yeah. Introduce this beautiful young lady to the show.
Yes. So I'm not going to do the introduction. I'm going to allow her to do the introduction. So without further ado, we would like to bring to the Andre The Beast Crayton Show, Miss Chanita Pullom. How are you, my dear?
I am doing well. Thanks for having me. I'm excited. That was a great little, I guess, background when it came to me as far as the perseverance. I love that. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to tell my story.
Well, hey, we're not going to belabor it then. Yeah. So before we get into asking a bunch of questions, I think it is great if you could give our viewers a little bit of background.
Well, as they said, I am Chanita Pullom. I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri, but I reside in Denver, Colorado, but the suburbs of Denver. I'm in the television media industry, and I've been in this industry for 13 years. It's something that I always wanted to do. Went to school for it, got my degree in communications. So funny story is I wanted to be in front of the camera, but I had a professor that kind of steered me in the other direction of going behind the scenes in a great way. So I'm happy he did, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, so again, thanks for having me, guys. I'm ready to get into the story when you guys are.
You said you're from St. Louis. You're a Midwestern, which is far from our great city, the greatest city and state in the world, Indianapolis, Indiana, Carmel, Indiana, Lawrence. Shout out to Lawrence. Call it what it is.
The greatest in the world.
The greatest. I love my city. I rep my city.
Okay, rep it.
What was it like?
So she's our neighbor. She's our neighbor.
Yeah, she's our neighbor. Close friend, but you know, she's in Denver right now. But what was it like for you in St. Louis? What was it like growing up as a young girl?
Honestly, St. Louis was amazing. I still, what Nelly say, I'm from the Lou and I'm proud. I'm very proud of where I'm from. I grew up in the hood, but I was schooled in a predominantly white area. So my mom, even as a young child, I guess she had the vision of, you know, this girl is going to go somewhere. And I'm only child. So there was a program, I can't remember the exact name, but if you lived in the inner city or the hood, as we call it, you can be bused to predominantly white schools. And at the time, you know, they're known as better schools. So childhood was good. That's when I learned diversity. Again, being from the hood and going to school with a lot of white Caucasian people, so I had a great balance. Fun. I come from a big family. My immediate family is kind of small, but when it comes to my major, like gigantic family, my great grandmother had 23 kids. So
23.
23
like
kids.
She birthed 23 kids.
She birthed 23 kids. That's my great grandmother. Yes.
My goodness.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
She stayed pregnant a good, I don't know how long she lived,
much,
but
most of her life.
maybe, a good third of it at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off. Let me ask a question.
You're fine.
You use the word hood quite often, about 6 times. Explain to the viewers what does that mean when you say hood? What is the hood?
Hood is, poverty area. You know what I mean? Like in that area, there's, they have corner store, liquor stores, all the things that, provides
in the suburbs.
Yeah, it's not the suburbs, right?
Yeah.
And again, you're just around people that don't have a lot of money. You know what I mean? So again, it was great. I feel like back in the day, you just created that community. You know what I mean? It says it raised a village. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what it was. It's just a hood of people that are in poverty, basically. So that's why I call it that.
I grew up in the hood too. And you know what's interesting about
What did
that?
you grow up in?
I totally grew up in the hood.
Where?
I came up off of 25th and Hillside and 30th and Orchard. You better recognize.
Okay, I forgot.
Okay, listen.
I forgot.
For real. Now look, it's a different story.
30th Street
You forgot.
Yeah, okay.
Forgot. You forgot.
Rep your flag.
What was interesting though is that, did you know you were poor back then? Because when we grew up, I didn't know we were poor. I mean, we were poor. We never went without food. I never remember the lights off or whatever, but our apartment complex literally was right next to the projects. I mean, so who did we hang out with? The project kids, right? Those were our friends. I mean, so we were, like you said, a big community. But did you know it? Because I didn't know it till I got older. Me either. And I looked back and I was like, holy cow. Mom was really trying to make ends meet,
Yeah. I mean, the other piece to my story, I probably shouldn't say this on the podcast, but I mean, this is just my true, authentic self. I have a dad, but he was my stepdad. He didn't birth me, but he came into my life when I was 3. Mm-hmm. And again, God rest his soul. He passed away 2 years ago. But he was in a profession of some things that he shouldn't have been doing. So at the time, yes, we lived in the hood, but financially we were okay, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Listen, my mother's dead and I'm going to tell her like it is. Boy, she knew every booster, we had a freezer full of ice cream. We had all the nice clothes. I ain't no shame in my game. She had to do what she had to do.
You had all that?
We didn't want for nothing. I was the first one in a little fur rabbit coat. Lord,
I can relate. I can definitely relate.
Don't play now.
So what was it like? What was the purpose of your mom putting you into pretty much an all-white environment for education? I know we don't usually know the reason as we're children, and sometimes we have regrets or anger going into uncharted territories at that age. Mm-hmm. But now that what did you learn from it when you went there, and I know it's kind of hard to go back, but what was your reaction when all that took place?
Honestly, I didn't really, I didn't know any better. You know what I mean? I thought it was normal. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm on a bus with kids that live in my neighborhood and all of us are Black. And then, yes, I mean, the bad thing about it was the bus ride was like an hour. And it was in an area called Chesterfield. So probably about 45 minutes to an hour away out of, the city of St. Louis. So honestly, I didn't really notice it. I just like, okay, this is the school that I'm going to. Yes, you do see, you're in the classroom full of, whites. So you're the minority. And I was okay with it. But what that did, and I think my mom did that because my mom had me as, she was a teenager. She had me a senior in high school. So I think, she made a mistake, not a mistake, but, she didn't want to do that. That wasn't her plan, but she did cherish the gift, me, I'm not trying to, brag, but I am. She did a phenomenal job. She just didn't want me to go down her path of teen pregnancy, staying in the environment of, like we called it, living in the hood. So I think that really was her reasoning. And I'm glad she did, because it actually has helped me throughout life. Like, again, where I work now, or everywhere that I have worked in the world, I've been the minority. And, once I got a taste of that as a kid, I think that helped me, you know what I mean, as I got older. So
what was it like? You said, if I heard you correctly, you said you're an only child, correct?
I am. Yep.
What was that like for you growing up as an only child?
I love it. I mean, I have a big
You
family,
didn't have to
so
share nothing.
it didn't feel like it, because again, I was around my family all the time. I have a lot of cousins, and our aunts, their moms and uncles made sure that we stuck together. So I have a cousin who is 4 years older than me, and to this day, me and him call each other brother and sister. So it never felt like I was alone, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
You said you wind up. When did the entertainment bug first hit you, and what were you doing when it hit you? Like, when I was growing up, I wanted to be Michael Jackson. I remember seeing him on the Ed Sullivan. I got up and I started dancing. What's wrong with
that? Didn't pan out very well, did it?
When did the bug for entertainment hit you?
It started when I was a kid. So my mom is a singer. My mom is a singer. So I grew up around music all the time. Like, my mom would sing in the local talent shows. My mom was in a band with Nelly's father and uncle. And I would have to go to rehearsal with her all the time. So it started with that. So it started with music. And then, again, my dad having, a lot of finances. So we had TV and stuff like that. And I was just very in tune. So even as a child, I was just I wanted to be a reporter. I wanted to be like Oprah, or like the news anchor. And that's how it started. So it started probably when I was 5 or 6, and it stayed that way.
Your parents were in a band with
my mom. My mom was
in a band with Nelly,
his dad,
Nelly's uncle, and dad.
Uncle. Yeah, and dad.
Uncle and dad.
Not Nelly.
She said Nelly.
Yeah. The dad and uncle.
The dad.
His dad and uncle.
Oh, okay. Well, heck, I mean, when you hear Nelly, you be like, wow, okay.
So when you think about your story, where does it kind of turn? Where does the story turn? So you've gone to high school. I'm assuming then you went to college.
Yep. So my story, okay, so from St. Louis, we moved to Atlanta when I was 14. My mom just wanted to get out of St. Louis, which I'm happy she did. No offense to St. Louis, but it just opened up my world, going to, living somewhere else. And again, finish high school, go to college. And this is where the professor comes in. And he, I've always been a stylish, fashionable, again, the fur coat, probably when I was 3, so I've always liked shopping and fashion. And every class that this professor had, I took. So he always just took notice in what I had on and stuff like that. And, we had one-on-one conversations, and he, I told him I wanted to be a reporter. And he was like, you don't want to do that. Because he was a big time radio host for over 40 years. His name is Rhubarb Jones. He also has passed away, but that was my favorite professor. He was like, being a reporter is not going to get you any money. And I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, nowadays, he said, it's not like what it used to be. Back in the day, you could just sit, look cute, and read the teleprompter. When I was in college, it started to become, you have to write the story. You gotta hold the camera. You know what I mean? You have to do everything for a little amount of money. So he said, what you really want to do is find a job in the entertainment field. He said, still stay in the field, but behind the scenes. He said, that's where the money is. He was like, I'm not trying to steer you, but he was like, I know you like money. So he was like, I'm just telling you, being a reporter, you're probably going to have to put a good 20 years in before you get to a decent salary to where you can afford to live. That's where it turned.
What was your first major job opportunity that you landed with that advice?
My first major opportunity was literally 4 months after I graduated college, and I got my first TV job at Fox Television in Los Angeles, California.
Nice.
So I was excited for that. I was applying to, I didn't care where I moved. It could have been Alaska. It could have been Hawaii. I just needed it to be a major entertainment company. And thank God Fox took a chance on me. And of course, being in LA, that was fun. So
how difficult was it for you to break into the field at first try? Because you're coming out of college, you are a female. How difficult was it for you to actually be taken serious?
Can I tell you something? God is good. So because it wasn't difficult. Again,
4 months. Yeah. Wow.
4 months. And I thought that was a long time. They were like, Chanita, 4 months is really, really, really like amazing. Like people would take years before they actually get a job in their field. And I didn't know, but I was so impatient. I'm like, I need to make money because I was so broke, especially. And then of course, moving to LA from Atlanta. But honestly, Andre, when I got the job at Fox, I made sure that I made connections. I made sure that I used my communications degree as far as networking with people, talking to the right people to steer you in the right direction, because there's so many, and a lot of people don't know this, there's so many jobs behind the scenes, whether it's in television, movies, music, and that's where the money is. But you just have to find your niche. You got to stay focused. And I did. And again, be around the right people.
So what do you do specifically? So share with the viewers what you do.
So my corporate title, it is called least access. But the layman's terms, basically the easy way of defining that is I deal with people that have their own television shows or television channels. And actually one of my major clients is is based out of Indiana. Bend, I think it's Bend, Indiana. Yeah.
Where, in Indianapolis?
No, but I think it's Bend. That's where the headquarters is.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm actually supposed to come out there soon to visit them. They're going to, give me a tour of the TV station and stuff like that. And it's one of our major channels. I can't say the name, but I will tell you guys once we finish. Yeah.
How do you find the talent to?
They find us.
Really?
So what I do is actually a FCC regulated law. And they came out with this law in the 1980s. And I call them regular Joe Smo people like me and you, they got jealous like that. People were getting on TV like ESPN and BET and, all the major networks. Right. And regular Joe Smo people, they're not celebrities. They were trying to figure out, how can I get on TV if I'm willing to pay? So the government, federal government said, you know what, if you are a cable or satellite company, and since I work for NBCU Universal, Comcast owns NBC Universal. So technically NBC is a cable network. So if you're a cable or a satellite company, you have to provide a certain amount of bandwidth for regular Joe Smo people to have the opportunity to have a TV channel or a TV show. So I have people that have channels, and then I have people that have shows that I deal with.
And so then they lease some bandwidth from you guys. Is that what that is? So that they can actually be on the airwaves or something like something?
I mean, technically, but it's the easy way to describe it to people that don't know the technical terms is they're leasing a TV channel. So either 30 minutes or more, or they lease the whole channel for 24 hours. So the minimum is 30 minutes and then the max is 24 hours.
We need a show.
We got a show.
I can help you out.
We got a show.
Another one though. We're going on NBC though. Why not?
Oh, you already put it out there?
Yeah, she said she can help us.
Okay. Hey, this show provides quality entertainment. I mean, education.
Listen.
I had no idea this even existed.
Listen. We just learned something new. So what was something in your life that you literally had to overcome when you think about life? Because it sounds like so far it's been pretty good to you.
It sounds damn good.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm damn good.
Yeah.
Well, in 2018, I had a health scare, and I'll try to sum up this story because two things happened back to back. And at this time, I was actually living in Washington, so I had moved from LA at Fox, and then I went to Washington State. I got an offer from an ABC affiliate station. So I was in Washington, still kicking, still having fun, but a new state, new television station. And out of the blue, I woke up actually on a Sunday. and I couldn't get up out of the bed. And I'm like, am I having a seizure? Like, you know what I mean? Am I paralyzed? But again, you know how you're waking up, so your eyes is not really open. So long story short, I finally get up, not realizing what the heck was going on, go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and I had open wounds all over my body.
What?
Basically, I was stuck to my sheets. That's why I could not get up, and I didn't know it.
Huh?
Right? Yeah, I know, right?
You went to bed normal. You went to bed fine.
Yep.
And
yep.
that
So just imagine.
Just
imagine waking up to that.
What was it?
So
you see how you said.
Anyway, so I finally get to the hospital. It took me a week. You know, I was stubborn. I'm like, I just didn't want to go because it was embarrassing. Number one, you know, just to walk in the hospital like that. But anyways, I get to the hospital. I was living in a small podunk town of Washington. So their hospital was big, but on a Sunday, they really didn't have the specialist. So I needed like a dermatologist specialist, and they were not on site that day. So they were like, we're going to reach out to a local dermatologist and hopefully they can come. If not, we're going to have to airlift you to a bigger hospital. So I really didn't want that. So anyways, come to find out, it was a autoimmune disease. Okay. And the crazy thing is this autoimmune disease, it's called pemphigus vulgaris, is normally in people that's 80 years old and above. So everybody was confused, like, why does she have this? At the time I was 32. So they were confused.
Even heard of it. And I was in the medical field for years. Never heard of it. Is it rare?
Yeah, it's very rare. Yep.
Okay.
So anyway, so they give me all the treatment, the steroids, and, you know, now I'm getting back to normal. 2 weeks later, it was actually a Mother's Day brunch that I was at. And out of the blue, on both of my legs, from my kneecap down to my feet on both legs, they start to go numb. And it's not like a regular, you know how your leg fall asleep. It was a little weird feeling. So I was like, okay, something's not right. So of course, I immediately go to the doctor. And then this is where the major news hit of, we're going to have to admit you to the hospital because your femoral artery is 100% blocked.
Wow.
And I said, I didn't even know what that means. I'm like, what are you talking about? They were like, so your artery in your thigh, you're not getting any blood circulation. So they were, again, another confusion.
In both legs?
No, in just one. But I was getting triggered because the left leg was working like overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So so they admit me. I stay in the hospital for 6 days. They did so many tests trying to figure out what it was. And long story short, to this day, they still can't figure it out. So those two things happening back to back medically was very scary. I wasn't in the medical field, so a lot of those terms I was not aware about, but had to learn. So I had to overcome that. It was very scary. My family was scared. My mom immediately hopped a flight to come, and so I still deal with that to this day. But you wouldn't know it. So my left leg always is in pain, 24/7. And really? That's because
they didn't put a stent in it to unblock it?
They can't put a stent in my leg because my veins and arteries are the size of a spaghetti noodle.
Too little.
Right. So too little. But also, this is why I also say God is good. My veins and arteries in that left leg rerouted itself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I still have enough flow of blood from my thigh to my foot, which they were confused. They were like, why is your leg not blue or black, or, you know what I mean? And that was the reason why.
God is good. I didn't know he does that with the heart as well. Yes, it is amazing.
Amazing, right?
Yes.
Amazing.
Now, do you have to wear like a compression sleeve or keep your leg elevated, or ice, or maybe too much exertion can trigger it? Because it's, even though it rerouted, you know, you can have complications. So what do you do to still... Do you elevate it? Do you use a compression? Do you do ice? What do you do outside of
I still compete. I'm still normal. I still exercise. I play basketball. I'm on an old women's league in Denver, so I still push myself to the limit. Yeah. But the only time
old woman league. Yeah, what's old?
You gotta be.
What is that? 32
I'm
and above?
38. Right. I'm 38. We all old, but we out there playing. Yeah.
What position you playing? Forward, guard?
You got it. I'm a forward. Yep.
Okay.
That's hilarious. She said,
so let me go back.
I'll be on the senior citizen league.
No, you'd be on the young team. You're only 32. I'm a man. I know what to say when it comes to a woman in age. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, exactly.
You're 32. I got you, baby.
And holding.
So let me ask the question. There's so many routes that you can go to in the entertainment field. You was told by your late professor to be behind the scenes. Are there any regrets for not at least trying to get in front of the camera for you?
Actually, no, because I could do things like this. You can do podcasts, so I'm in front of the camera. But no, I know a lot of television anchors, and he was right. Financially, even me working behind the scenes as my first job, I was only making $28,000, which is insane. So just imagine being an anchor at that time when I was making 28, they probably were making 20.
Wow.
To sit in front of the camera.
You said something. This show is really designed to showcase that beast mindset, and more importantly, to educate, empower others. And you just did that with me, because I didn't know that. I've heard of pay to play type things in music and some television, but how has the game changed? How has television changed for you now, especially with social media, overnight sensations, podcasts are coming out now, and people are trying to understand how to navigate it? How does that affect your job, and what creativities do you bring to things like, podcasts and overnight sensations that people can go on social media and just gravitate to?
With that, because a lot of people, think television is going to go away eventually. And we kind of got a glimpse of what it's like when you're streaming or on a streaming network. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the Mike Tyson fight this past weekend.
Yeah.
And everybody around the world was like, their system was glitching, right? Yeah. So this is why I always preach or go to conferences or talk to people. Television is not going to go away, because when it comes to airing content, we still have the better quality. And that's just something that won't change. That's because you have somebody in a master control room that's watching what's happening in real time in 24 hours. So with streaming, everybody's like, okay, we're just going to log on and, so you have to be creative and letting people know. And again, examples like what happened with the fight keep happening. I went to like a streaming conference a couple of months ago, and, my purpose was to let people know, like some of the clients there, hey, NBC Universal and television and cable TV is not going anywhere. So you just have to be creative and meet people where they're at, and then kind of show them a way of, hey, you also can still air your content in a better quality instead of streaming. And, no offense to the podcast creator and content creators, but television is still here to stay. So that's the way to be creative.
You're not relying on the internet to show your content. That's right. You got
bingo.
You got it. What kind of advice do you give young entrepreneurs that now, the creators that are trying to elevate their game? How important would their content be with working with someone like yourself, for instance?
What do you mean when you ask that? What do you mean? Sorry, I'm trying to understand.
You mentioned the creators out there, the podcast creators and the television creators. What's the difference? What do you bring to them to elevate their career? Because naturally they're trying to get ratings, they're trying to get viewerships, they're trying to get sponsors, subscribers, the whole 9 yards. When you go to meet somebody like that, what kind of due diligence do you do on that individual? And then more importantly, what do you bring to the table to help elevate them?
I got you. So the advice that I would give, that I always give my clients is, before you sign up and pay for this television channel or television show, make sure you have your ducks in a row as far as marketing, because that's still something that's relevant. Nobody is going to watch if nobody knows that it's out there, right? So you have to continuously market whatever you're trying to air, or if you're trying to put it online. That's the number one thing. You definitely have to have some type of PR marketing to make sure people tune in. My other thing is I preach networking. Networking is still a prevalent thing. Like, I feel like everybody, I don't care what industry you're in, network, you have to do that. You have to get in the room with the right people. You know what I mean? So you always want to be around people that are smarter, have a little bit more knowledge, and, you know, and you put your heads together and you can come up with something beautiful. So those are my two advice that I give to all my clients.
She got the brand down. She got the brand. You got that right. Because if you don't promote, right, stay relevant. The other thing is stay relevant. Good content, right? You got to promote and networking. Your network, your net worth is your net worth.
Are you preaching that to me?
I know. I'm just saying.
So my next question to you is, what have been some of the disadvantages of going into the field for you, being a woman and a woman of color in a situation that's basically controlled by the white media, pretty much?
I would say the main disadvantage is constantly having to work 10 times harder, improving yourself, you know, to everybody else in the room. And then eventually, you know, when you open your mouth and you know, basically sell yourself, they're kind of in shock. So unfortunately, as a Black woman, even in media, even though they know, you know, I'm very smart and I've been in the business for almost 13 years now, that you still have to work 10 times harder and show improve, you know what I mean, every day. So I would say that is the biggest disadvantage. And I know my story sounds very good and it always seems to, you know, it's like, oh my God, everything is good. My faith also, you know what I mean? So with that, it hasn't been hard, yes, because I'm having to do more work than everybody else, but it's been worth it. You know what I'm saying? So now I feel like I'm in rooms that I probably, like, for example, last night, I went to dinner with my VP, like who works for NBC Universal. A lot of people don't do that. So again, with me, you know, communicating and using my networking skills and showing my hard work, you know, it has paid off. Yeah, it's just you got to work double time.
So you would agree then, I'm a branding expert, then, that it's important that they see your value, because if you don't, yes.
Let me ask another question. Let's stick with the medium. What do you think? And I know you're in this field, so I know I'm going to get a straight positive answer. Why haven't we seen more of the Black media stations elevating to the same level as their counterparts?
Honestly, I think they don't do the two things that I just said. They don't network and they don't promote themselves. They don't put in the time. Like, for example, NBC Universal, it took them a while to get to where they are, right? They had to put in the time. They had to put in the work to actually be a relevant television station. Even BT had to put in the time to, you know what I mean, to be a relevant television station. So I feel like, I hate to say it, but a lot of us, we give up too easily. You know what I mean? We start something and, you know, and then they get impatient, you know, like, oh, this is all right, I'm over it. We give up way too easily.
Make me
stop doing that.
Wow.
Yes, this is what I preach all the time. You literally, this is my analogy of it. Here we are, you're building your brand, you're trying to make something happen. And because we are impatient, we won't stick around to see it through. So imagine walking down literally the sidewalk and you get to the corner, and because it hasn't happened for you, you decide to stop. But had you just turned that corner, it was right there waiting on you. The momentum, the everything you needed was right there waiting on you.
I'm glad you're back on the show.
But but it just feels so good because I say this and it just shows you, no matter what you're endeavoring to do, you guys, there are no quick fixes. You know what I mean? You have to just have consistency and action and stick to it. And that's amazing. It's for you to say that, and you've been in the industry long enough that you've seen it, right? You've seen it.
Yeah.
So that's powerful.
Yeah.
Does that make you, knowing everything that you've accomplished? And my hats off to you. I'm really proud that you're on the show, even sharing such vital information. But are there moments that you look and you wish that you can go into the minority-owned stations and bring your knowledge? And would you do that for them? Has there ever been moments where you say, "Look, I can really take these companies this," and more importantly, I know they see you. I know they see you. Is there ever a moment
honestly,
you do that?
I would definitely love to do that, but again, I don't even know how to get in those doors. The only people that I know is the clients that reach out to me, and of course we have amazing conversations, and they ask for my advice and they become successful. I don't. If you know a way of me getting into those stations that want to be on the air and want to be big time, let me know, because I'll definitely come and speak to them and try to spread my knowledge. I feel
that's
like
your what's next. That's your what's next when you start your own business and then you become the consultant, right?
Matter of fact,
I like that.
What is next for you? That's the question. What is next?
I am with a company that I love. It took me almost 13 years to get to a decent salary that I am comfortable with. And again, that took me 3 different stations. So again, with Fox, and then ABC, and then now with NBC, Comcast. I mean, it's all the same thing. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little content. I'm kind of basking, into what's happening now. But my goal is to probably be a director with NBC Universal, and I am working on that. Again, having dinner with my VP, and we have discussed that. So that is my next, to stay with this company and be a director. Leading the team with what I do right now.
You mentioned different opportunities that you've taken, and you mentioned the pay as well. Mm-hmm. Did you leave because they didn't understand your wealth, or did you leave because of the pay?
So the salary part, I don't mind sharing that. So again, when my first job at Fox, it was $28,000. Then I got promoted 3 years later. I stayed with Fox for 5 years. I got promoted, and they give you the story of, oh, we never give this amount of money
more than
to everybody else. And they gave me a whopping $32,000. And my position changed to a manager. So I was managing 2 people in the department that I was in. And at the time I was dealing with commercials. Now I'm dealing with TV shows. So $32,000 was kind of like a slap in the face. But I said, you know what? Fox Television is a great company to have on your resume, because, so I took the offer, stuck with it. And then after 5 years, realizing that Fox wasn't going to pay me anything more, I started applying. And again, I didn't care where I moved. I just know I needed to stick with a television station or a big, movie company. And then I got a call from ABC television station in Washington. So I moved, and they offered me, at the time, I think it was $45,000, which was weird because California is way more expensive than Washington, the state. Right. And they offered me more. So I immediately said yes. And they rolled out the red carpet. And I stuck with them for 2 years. And they were like, yeah, we don't have the money to offer you anymore. Okay, I got to go. And then I end up, getting the job in Colorado. So I don't think it's that they didn't see my worth. I think it's just companies just cap off. And, like she said, they give you the spill. We're going to give you 3%. You know what I mean? And it's just to save money. So I don't think it was my worth, or they didn't see my value. I had to do what I had to do for myself.
That's weird to me, because I always growing up as a kid, thought that being on TV was a lucrative thing. And I have since realized that's not the most lucrative job. So I'm almost okay. So now I need to be telling people you need 3 streams of income. That needs to just be one of them.
Exactly.
I'm not even going to ask you what you make now, but whatever it is, and you're comfortable with it.
It's amazing now. I'm good. I'm good now.
Yeah, but
it took me 13 years to get there. It is way, 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 way more, and I won't share that figure, but I promise you, Denver, Colorado is expensive. Cost of living is expensive, so I get paid well. But again, I had to put in the time. Like you said, I love that analogy of you get to the corner and people stop. Right. I didn't stop. I turned the corner and it paid off.
Yeah, and I guess it gets to a point where then you get to a point where you have to demand your value. You right? You know what I mean? It's like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I bring to the table. This is what I need. This is what I need, and be willing to walk away if they don't give it to you. Again, that's
and for the most part, they won't. They will give it to you because, once if you look at my resume, they're like, okay, she's right. We can't lowball this woman. Exactly. You know what I mean? So, and they know that. But if you let them, they definitely will.
Well, yeah, anybody will. But I was mad, girl, because I didn't know that they wouldn't. I was like, I need my hair done every day, my makeup and wardrobe. They was like, you don't get all that being on TV. I was like, what do you mean?
No, only if the company, they have the budget.
Only if you maybe on the Today Show, but
there you go.
There you go. Yes. You got to be on one of those serious major shows, but just to do the news or something, you coming in your own makeup, your own clothes. I know, because I see them on TV sometimes, and I'm like, girl, you don't need to wear that dress one more time.
I'm gonna ask another question before we wrap up here.
Gotta go.
My wardrobe is simple, spandex.
Oh. Okay.
So my next question to you is this: what have you seen change in since you've been in the industry?
The major change is the streaming stuff that everybody is trying to push. And I'm sure you guys have streaming apps and stuff like that. So that has kind of put a damper into what I do, because a lot of people just jumped on the bandwagon of, okay, we're going to get all these streaming apps and get rid of our cable bill. Okay. So that has kind of our subscriber count. So the eyeballs that you can potentially have when you're watching TV has went down. But what's happening, which I'm happy about, is all these streaming apps. There's so many and everybody has to have them that it adds up.
Yeah.
And there's been a couple of studies that when everybody just dropped cable, got all these apps, and then they tally up all the streaming apps, it's the same amount as a cable bill.
Yeah.
But now, you know what I mean? So a lot of people are coming back. So that has been it's been a back and forth swing when it comes to what I do. But I am kind of happy that people are noticing, well,
yeah,
let me just get back to cable because.
Yeah. But they could.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
A little bit.
What'd you say?
I said, I love cable, but they could come down off that price just a little bit. Because at one point, I felt like it was a little monopoly going on.
You still have cable?
I do.
Okay, I stream.
I do too.
I know you stream. I do, but I did take it down to a minimum. I think at one point my cable bill was over $300, and to me that was just ridiculous for somebody that doesn't even watch TV. How about that? I don't even watch TV.
Yeah, and I watch a lot of TV. I kind of have to kind of keep up to date with what's happening. Yeah. But the one benefit of working for Comcast, NBC Universal, my
get it for free.
No. Oh. But it's close to free, but it's very, very cheap. I pay, and I'll just tell you, I pay $42.
Nice. And you probably got the top of the line service. I think I got basic.
Yep.
And mine's 100 and something. But I'm okay with it. You know what? Because I'm a diehard. I'm a loyalist, right? I have a hard time changing things once I've decided I like you. If I like you, then I'm there. I use the same toothpaste, the same hairdresser, the same and nail person for years. And it's amazing. I don't change a lot like that. But anyway, I digressed.
Okay. I'm
when you had on spandex, we got.
Yeah, I wear the same.
I know, right?
The same shirt, the same shoes.
He's a personal trainer, workout guy.
My question is, you're very creative in what you do. I can tell by your path so far. When you're looking for new content in a digital world that we're living in with streaming and so forth, what attracts you to go to somebody, even to like your VP, and say, we should invest in this particular venture or content?
I'm kind of old school. And I think old school is kind of like, and again, my client that's in Indiana, I will tell you the name afterwards. Their content that they have is they show classic TV shows and movies, and it's a big hit. A lot of people, want to have nostalgia of,
Right.
When they were kids and what they watched when they were growing up. So when I look for content, I look for different, because some of the new stuff is just,
Crazy.
in my opinion, out of control. Yeah. You already know.
Yeah.
It's not even, it's not even really show worthy. Some of it. My husband stuck up with fire. Those old shows that.
Correct. Yeah. And that with that particular client, I said that's genius. Because a lot of people, with the new stuff, we just said it's crazy. It's not really creative. Like I feel like people just be doing stuff. That's just my honest opinion. So what we look for, like what I look for in particular, is just something different. Make people feel good. Don't do anything too crazy. That's just, and it's pretty simple.
Has there been any projects that came across your desk that you overlooked and it turned out later that somebody else picked it up and it became a pretty much sensation?
Nah. Nope. So far, so good. Yeah.
Right.
You look at that like, no.
Well, without giving it out of the bag, what was one thing that you was like, no?
The crazy thing is we have to accept everything with what I do, because it's just a law, because a client can sue us. So if they're putting, I'm being honest, so if they're putting something crazy on there, we have to air it. But what we do have to do is put a disclaimer. And I have a client that's in California, love him to death. But the content that he put on there is pretty crazy. But again, with it being a law, the only thing that we can't air is porn, and that's it. So you can put anything else on there.
So they can have like profanity and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
As long as there's a disclaimer.
Yep. Disclaimer, and they paying the bill, because you have to pay to be on air. So we got to say yes. Yeah.
That's amazing. So do you think there's a big market out there that is not even aware? We didn't know. No. Is there a big market that's not aware that so this is an opportunity for you to give them your 30-second pitch?
And that's what I've been doing. Actually, I've been traveling a lot, doing networking, and letting people, and just like you, everybody is like, what? I didn't even know that we could do this. So that has been my initiative for the past years, to travel to different places, speak to people. And I mainly go to big companies that we want. A lot of my clients are pastors, like a lot of like religious churches and stuff like that. I'm actually we're going to a convention in February, and it's the Christian media. So a lot of like mega churches will be there. And my whole goal is to let them know, hey, we already have a lot of pastors that air their sermon. Mm-hmm. Yours could be the next one. So that is what,
so when it airs, how does it get on? Is it a channel? Is it okay? I'm kind of confused, because if it's not
a channel,
it would be like a channel, but it's
on TV. Yeah,
it's on TV. It's on Fox Universe.
No, so it's on. They get their own channel. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
in their city.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, it's their channel in their city, so it's more local.
It depends. We have people so I deal with in the Western division. So I deal with all states that's in the Western hemisphere. Okay. So yes, we do have some clients. Say, for example, they just want the Houston market. They only air in Houston. But then we do have clients that are in all of the Western states that I deal with. So it depends on the client, and what they can afford.
I'm getting ready to say it. Is it, without giving the prices away, is it pretty affordable for a startup content people? Is it affordable for them?
I think it is. Yeah. Yep. If you start in your little market that you're in, make money off of that and work your way up. Yes. Yep.
And so when you say make money off of it, how do you make money?
Yeah, I have to tell you that off air.
All right. We going to look. I don't
Look,
we on the edge of our seat like this.
We provide quality education, but we don't give all the secrets out.
The secret sauce you got later. That's the whole point of tuning in, and then contact us and ask us what we need to do. How can people get in touch with you if they're interested?
I'm on Facebook, so you can find me Chanita Pullom. I'm on LinkedIn at Chanita Pullom. I am on Instagram. It is private. But if you're somebody that, I think is worthy of, being on my account, then I will accept you.
There you go.
And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you do the West. That means there's somebody like you that then does other markets as well, right? I'm assuming you cover all the 4 quadrants.
You are very correct. Yep.
Yes. Gotcha.
We can talk. We can talk about it off air. I can get you in a connection. If you guys are serious and want to actually air this on TV in your area, I can help you out.
Okay. Thank you.
So my question before we wrap up, you have had such a beautiful and extraordinary life. You definitely praise God for your journey and stuff. You've had some ups, but not some downs, but not many. You're definitely doing a lot of things to impact individuals. Thank you so much for taking time to come on our show and basically share with us some knowledge I had no idea existed.
I'm in my seat right now.
We don't both got to the edge of the seat, and believe me, when this show's over, she's gonna be bugging me, asking me, "Well, Dre, let's call her." Well, we got her right here. What keeps you in that beast mindset? Lead the viewers with something keeps you in that beast mindset.
The fact that you wake up every day and you still have breath, because it could be worse. So my advice to people is enjoy life. We only get one. Yes, you're going to have ups and downs. It's, you're going to have roller coasters. You're going to hit some brick walls. You're going to hit some, corners. But like Miss Yolanda said, just turn the corner and keep going. And just enjoy it while we're here, because I don't think we'll ever get this opportunity again.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast
Crayton.